just about to talk to you when I heard that. Can you hear it? What do you want? No. I now have a cat that's not my cat, skirting around my ankles. I don't know what she wants. So it's now day 4. It's the 4th of July, so happy 4th of July to everybody that celebrates that. I've just got back from the school run. It's about just before 9 o'clock in the morning. If you're watching this, hopefully you will have watched the previous vlog. And yes, I'm just going to be uploading these whenever I've got enough to show you, really. Today I'm not working. I did say in my previous vlog that I was going to be working for Wednesday and Friday, but actually I remembered I've got Friday off because it's Phoebe's sports day and I've got a hospital appointment as well, so yeah, I'm not in tomorrow. Yesterday I did film a little bit, but it isn't worth putting that in because honestly I got to work for 8:30. I did not stop all day. I worked right through till 5 with like a 10-minute break for lunch, and then I came home, got stuck in traffic, and that was about it. It was just a bit of a miserable, frantic day yesterday, so no point including that, not interesting. Today I'm going to go and do a bit of a recce in a couple of towns up the motorway where my flute exam will be in a couple of weeks to check on the parking situation, because I have to be there quite early in the morning on the day of the exam, and I don't want to get caught out by not being able to park. So I'm going to do that in a minute, and my new phone holder arrived, so I'm going to try and fit that as well. And aside from that, I've just got loads and loads of paperwork to do, a load of chores to do, and I'm hoping if it's not too hot to fit in a bit of sewing. I want to make the miniature Moopy bunnies that I spoke about in, was it the last episode or episode 45? I want to make small little bunnies for the girls for their to have in the car for them as a surprise on the morning that we go to Scotland. So I want to get started on that, at least cut out the fabric. I had a couple of things arrive in a post, so I want to share one of those with you now. So this delightful little bunch of stuff arrived in the post from Paula of Paper Stories. She got in touch with me and said that she had these that she had cut out but wasn't using for anything. And seeing as I love lobsters, would I like them? And I said I would absolutely love them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I think I'm going to use them as decorations. I already have a necklace very similar to this, which makes me think I'd like to wear it. Yeah, so they're absolutely brilliant. Look, they're so sparkly. But she also popped in loads of little extras, which I wasn't expecting at all. She's given me some little needle caps, which I'm really excited to try out. A lovely little glittery ball stitch marker, and these wonderful pins. There's a rocket and a little penguin and Alice with the white rabbit. That's so cute. And then a load of fairy tale stitch markers, which I absolutely love. I love these bulb stitch markers. They're my favourite type. Beautiful card and yarn. And this is a really, really gorgeous yarn. The colour is called Office Party, and the fibre is 50% Surrey alpaca, 50% merino. A new precious skein to add to my collection. It's so beautiful, and I wasn't expecting any of it. I was just expecting the 2 lobsters. That would have been brilliant enough. So thank you so much, Paula. That was really, really kind of you. Going on here, but this was a complete surprise from my friend Melissa. She is Atomic Ranch Yarns, and I spoke about her, well, I've spoken about her a few times before, but I spoke about her specifically in the last podcast, episode 46, because I was talking about her new yarn dyeing business that she had. And this arrived just completely out of the blue as a little sort of summer thank you for the podcast gift. She sent a cap for Lilia. I haven't shown the girls this, they're going to go bananas. These are like stickers, but they're sweets. They're probably absolutely terrible for you, which means the girls will absolutely love them. I might put these away and hide them and produce them for the car. when you go on holiday or at some point in the holidays. She sent me this amazing fabric with all crafty bits all over it. I just love it. Paints and threads and things. Little card. This is a little charm, little handbag charm type thing for Phoebe. Tea for me. Oh, and there's a little star charm for me too, because Starry Eyes Ali. And then this is an old video. Now, Aladdin is my absolute favourite Disney film. I used to work for Disney, and this was always my favourite film. And I had it, I've probably still got it somewhere on VHS tape. We did go and see the new feature film and we loved it. And when Melissa went to see it, she went with some friends, and one of her friends made all the girls these handbags out of the old video cases. Look, it's got little tassels on it. You know I love a tassel. When you open it up, let me see if I can do this one-handed. It's all lined with Aladdin fabric. And look, it's got gold coins in, treasure and rubies. So I'm going to give that to Phoebe. She's going to be over the moon with that. I can just see her playing with that for hours. So thank you, Melissa. It sounds like I just get sent stuff all the time, but honestly, it only ever seems to happen when I'm doing vlogs. It just makes me look like a completely spoiled brat. Okay, let's see how this goes. This is my new phone holder. It looks a bit wobbly. It doesn't look very stable, and it's already fallen off once. But it only cost me about £4 from eBay, so I guess that's what I can expect. Just suddenly realised I should perhaps have turned the other way. Never mind. Okay, so I'm on my way to do a little recce of the parking situation at the college where my flute exam is going to be taking place, and I also wanted to test out my new phone holder. It's about a 10-minute drive away, and I'm going to pop to the shops on the way back. I'm not sure if I actually gave a background explanation to this, but I play the flute. I played the flute since I was in my childhood, so I think I was about 9 or 10 when I took it up, but I never did any grades as a child. And then my daughter my eldest daughter Lilia, she took up the flute at primary school, and I took it up again at that point to support her so that I could help her and just, you know, give her some moral support. So she's now completed her first 2 classical grades, as have I. She's now moved on to classical grade 3. I, in the meantime, decided to try doing jazz for a while, so I'm doing a jazz grade 2. Jazz is harder than classical, as I'm discovering, so I stayed at grade 2 just while I got the grips of it. The other problem I have is that my flute I have had since I was about 10 years old. It's rather old, it's been serviced many times, and it's just got to the point now where it's a bit knackered. It will not reach high E. No, not high E, sorry. Yes, no, top E. So yes, it will reach high E, but it won't go. So I think the highest note my flute will play is top D. But I can't go above that. And if you're going to do a grade 3, you need to go above that. Lilia has a flute which she kind of just borrows from her flute teacher and has done since she was very young. So she's fine. Flutes are expensive, so I'm kind of in 2 minds about whether or not to invest in a new one or not. And plus, I've just lost the will to keep putting myself through exams. I find them terrifying. The first thing that happens to me and my body when I get nervous or scared is my hands start to sweat and I can't breathe properly. Now, if you're in a flute exam and you're nervous and your hands start to sweat and you can't breathe properly, those things are quite major problems, given that the 2 things you need to use are your fingers and your breathing. which just makes the scary situation even worse. And of course then you just go round in circles. And I was thinking about this and why I feel the need to put numbers and achievement and exams and accomplishment into my playing of the flute, as if somehow that makes it more valid. I don't know. Lilia, on the other hand, doesn't get nervous at all. She's just chilled out. Yeah, so I think I always thought if I stopped going to regular lessons, if I stopped, going up the grades, then really what was the point? When actually there's plenty of point, because when I'm in the run up to an exam, I stop enjoying it because I'm too nervous and I'm fed up with the pieces, I don't like them, and I get frustrated with myself, I get tearful, I get angry with myself for not having the rhythm that's required. So why am I doing that to myself? Why do I not just play the flute and anything I like just for the pure enjoyment of it? Why do I need to put barriers in my own way? I've been thinking about this a lot recently, in case you can't tell. So after this exam, which I'm doing because I've paid for, so I'm going to do it, I'm going to actually give up going to lessons and doing any more exams, and I'm just going to play my flute for the pure enjoyment of it, and that's it. Sorry, just negotiating around about there. Okay, so I'm going to continue my drive, take you with me if it's interesting, and if not, I'll catch up with you later. I've just got back from the shops and I've decided on a whim that I'm going to start doing my yoga practice at home again. So I've got an Adrienne video on in the background, a sturdy bra, a floaty top, and I'm going to do 20 minutes of deep core yoga. So I did my yoga, which I really enjoyed. Oh, do excuse the ironing board. I did my yoga, which I really, really enjoyed. And I then cut out my first little mini Moopy bunny. So I'm glad to have got that done. And I shall do some more in a bit. I was going to do another one. I was quite happily cutting out, and I need to move because of my arm. Look, if I go this way, you can see the Hoover. Oh, goodness me. Anyway, I've been cutting out, as you can see, some of the little mini Moopy bunnies. So I was really pleased to get that done. I was going to keep going, but then my new pin design arrived. I ordered I did a new pin design and got it all properly designed and finished based on my drawings. And then it arrived today, and it is awful. So awful. So I've just been on the phone to the company that produces them. To basically the writing is illegible. You can't read it. The letters are too small, and that should have been picked up in the design process. It should have been picked up in their quality control, and it wasn't. So I'm fuming. And I spoke to them, and he said, "Okay, no problem. I've looked at the sample. We're going to go look into this and get back to you with the, a resolution to what we're going to do." I don't know what I'm going to do though. I can't sell them. They're completely. They're that awful. I can't even sell them as seconds. And I said, okay, that's great. Will you get back to me before the weekend? And he said, I would hope to get back to you for the weekend, but there's nothing I can do whilst I'm still on the phone to you. So that's good customer service, isn't it? So I think we'll get this little problem resolved, and then I think we'll find a new supplier if I want to keep doing pins. But I'm so disappointed. I was so excited to get them, and I just feel so deflated. So I was going to keep cutting out some bunnies and watching some podcasts, but I just feel so disheartened. I don't know what to do with myself. I might go and cast off my souvenir shawl, so then I've got a nice little completed thing. I might do that. I'm grumpy. Emptying the kids, Phoebe's lunchbox and washing up from my preparation of dinner. I've just done a 1-pot sausage and veg thing for tonight. There's loads of veg in there that probably the kids won't eat, like red peppers and courgettes. They don't mind them being in there, and I just cut them really big so that they can pick them out. I've bunged some chantenay carrots in there because I saw them and they looked like they would be nice in the dish, although you can cook them whole. I had to trim them because otherwise I would have complaints from Phoebe. I can almost hear her now complaining about them having bits on them. So for a quiet life, they have been trimmed. So that's just covered over there now, and I will stick that in the oven at about sort of 5:45 for about 40 minutes. And we'll eat about 6:30. Dan will be home just before 6. Phoebe's got a friend round upstairs, which is handy because it means I haven't seen them at all. They're just running around. I could just hear the occasional clunk and loud giggle. Yeah, so I'm going to do the washing up, clean down the kitchen, tidy round, and get ready for a nice relaxing, hopefully cooler evening. It's been really, really warm today. Yeah, so thank you for joining me for day 4, and I will film again tomorrow. Friday. It's day 5, the 5th of July. It's a Friday today, and I would normally be at work in the museum where I work, but I've got today off because it is Phoebe's sports day today, and it is going to be hot. It's going to be up to 80 in old money. I don't know what that is in new money. I can never get my head around Celsius, because when I grew up we always talked in Fahrenheit, so I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be hot is the point. I've already been out. Dan did the school run this morning, so I went to Lidl's to get some baguettes because there'll be a picnic on the school field before sports day starts. So I put a little footage of me driving from where we live into the town where Lidl's is, picked up some fresh baguettes, and I've also put together our picnic ready for later on. And I've also done some yoga, so I'm really pleased with myself that I've done yoga 2 days running. And yeah, it's just making a big difference to me mentally, obviously not physically so far, 2 days of yoga. But yeah, mentally, it's putting me in a bit of a better place. And I would really recommend the Yoga with Adrienne videos on YouTube. They're completely free. She is lovely to watch. She's just very natural and funny and makes it feel easy. So yeah, I'd really recommend it. In fact, I have started some playlists on my channel. So if you go into the front page of my channel and look for playlists, all the playlists that I have that are public are there, and I've made I think 3 playlists so far. One is yoga body conditioning, so yoga that's things like working on your core. One is yoga around the 10-minute video mark, and one is yoga around the 20-minute video mark. I think those are the podcasts I've made. So if you're interested in any of the ones that I've saved, that's where they are. Go and have a look. Thank you so much for all your comments on my first 2 days. I was really nervous about doing the vlogs in the first place, because I just was worried you'd all be sick of me after me doing April. And also I was worried that you'd be because I was going to do weekly vlogs. Dan's just coming home from his run. He's got a headband on. He looks like Boris Becker or someone. He looks so funny. He also looks very hot. Yeah, because I was going to do weekly ones, and then realised, of course, that I just rambled too much for that, and decided to do it sort of on a more sort of relaxed basis every few days. I don't know why I worry about these things, because you're always so positive and lovely, and honestly, I don't deserve the lovely comments that you send my way, and they brighten my every day. Yeah, I think doing my podcast and you guys that watch, you do wonders for my mental health as well. So thank you very much for that. And that heartfelt message is now going to be ruined by a sweaty man coming in the door.
6.2 kilometres.
He's done 6.2 kilometres and he looks very hot and sweaty. Dan is training for the London 10K on the 21st of July. So we'll all be going up to London to support him on that day. If he survives. I take it you won't be doing the dad's race in the school sports day today?
No.
Say hello. But don't get too close to me.
Hi, Dan fans.
Go and have a shower. Go away! Right, yeah, so he's distracted me from what I was saying. I think I was talking about yoga and just saying a big thank you to all your comments. So, yeah, so today's the school sports day, and then I've got a hospital appointment later, nothing serious. If you've watched my podcast for a while, you will know that I'm a J-poucher, which means I have no large intestine. I had an operation to have it removed in 2012, and my life has been nothing but better since. I have an internal pouch that is made out of part of my small intestine. I'm not sick in any way. I don't take any medication. I'm perfectly healthy. But every year, because my gastroenterologist is so lovely, he just checks up on me and just makes sure everything's stable and I'm not at risk of any, pouch-specific problems that can arise and can be difficult to spot unless you have regular contact with a medical professional. So that's what I'm doing today, and then I'm going to be packing because tomorrow I'm going to upload this vlog tonight. hopefully, if my Wi-Fi complies. And tomorrow I am going to watch the girls in another trampolining competition. They had one last weekend as well. This is the final one they've got, and it's just the club championship, so it's kind of a fun thing with the club that they belong to. I'll watch the first half of that, then my mum's picking me up and we are going to the station and we're going to get a train into London, where we're going to pick up a train from Euston to Birmingham, and we're going to meet my sister. She lives in Birmingham, and we are going to go to see Joseph and the... Oh, my phone is running low on battery. We're going to go and see Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, the musical, at the theatre in Birmingham. It's part of my mum's 70th birthday present for me and my sister. We've got a box, we have champagne and strawberries and dinner beforehand. So that's caught you up on everything that's happening over the next 48 hours, and I'm going to now go and sort out my hair, give it a dry, give it a straighten, put some sun cream on, and get ready to go down to the school for sports day. Also yesterday, one of the comments I was reading and responding to asked about my sock notebook, which I talk about fairly often on my podcast proper, and I will talk about this again in the next proper podcast. But I thought I'd just show you quickly now in case you're interested. I've kept a sock notebook ever since I started to learn to knit socks. It is nothing fancy. There is no prettiness about it. It's very basic. So the first pair of socks I made were using the Winwick Mum Sock Along tutorial. And I just wanted to keep a note of how many stitches I cast on, what yarn I used, what kind of toe I did, and what needles I used. And then obviously I made another pair with exactly the same. You can see I used 3.5mm needles there. I'm not sure I went so high. And it's just a way of recording my progress and just making note of the things that I've done, and as time's gone on, like how my things have changed. And then I started to keep the ball bands for all the yarn that I was using as well. I think I've actually got a bit of updating to do, because the more socks that I started to make, the less I kept remembering to put them in here. They are up to date and in order, but I think I've got to add more towards the end. Christmas tree socks. Just making notes of things. Cornwall socks. These Cornwall socks are still in progress, even though I started them. I should date when I start them, really. I started them last year, but my dad was so sick that I had to put them down. I didn't want to knit any sadness into them. These are the socks I knit whilst sitting at my dad's bedside. Where are we up to? Enchanted socks, Strictly socks. So this is the pattern I did, and just did it myself and made notes about what I did. So the last ones I've entered are my self-merging socks, and I'm pretty sure I've made at least one or two other socks since then. And looking at it now, I'm going to start dating them. So it'd be good to have a date of when I cast them on and cast them off, maybe. But yeah, put things like what the yarn was, if the yarn was a gift, if the pattern was a gift, little notes about anything people sent me, because I just like to remember. Not that I'd forget, but you know, it's also a note for anyone looking at this in the future. How I knit them. My finish gauge is something I've started doing recently, because I never really pay attention to that. So I've started to note my finish gauge, and then I just note things. I've started also to note how many rows I do per, here, you know, for the calf, for the leg, for the foot, just to get my head round roughly how long things take. This was my beachfront socks. These socks I made for Lilia, and she loves them. She wears them all the time, so I'm going to have to make her some more. The yarn I used was a gift from Kelly Lay, I think during the first Strictly Sock Along, and yeah, it was beautiful, and Lilia absolutely loves those socks. Yeah, so it's just a really nice reminder. I am a natural diary keeper. I keep diaries of everything. I love it. Sports day is still in full swing, and I'm walking back to my car to race to the hospital. This is the alleyway that I spoke about in April vlogs. Is it weird to have a favourite alleyway? Right, it is just coming up for 5:30. I'm sat up in the bedroom because it's a little bit cooler up here. It has been an extremely hot day. The hospital went great. They're all very happy with me. I'll see them again in a year. Had to have a little blood test just to check things are all functioning, and I'll guess they'll let me know if they're not. That's it. We're just going to try and have a peaceful Friday night, and I'm packing up ready to go to Birmingham tomorrow. It's pizza night on a Friday, so the girls always have pizzas, you know, a bit earlier on, and Dan and I have ours a bit later when we can chill out. We always do make our own pizzas, put all of our toppings on that we like, and I always like to have courgette and red pepper, and sometimes jalapenos, or sometimes caramelised red onion chutney. But yeah, it's yummy, and I look forward to it every Friday. That's the plan. I'm gonna have a glass of wine as well because it's Friday, and I'm just really looking forward to getting up and getting on with my weekend tomorrow. You will have seen that I was reading Wonder earlier. Both my girls have read that. Lilia read it in year 7. Phoebe read it this year, and they both loved it, and then they watched the film and they loved that even more. So Phoebe wants me to read with her the follow-up book to that, but I haven't read Wonder and I would like to read that first. So she brought it through to me and said, here you go, read the book. So I've started on it, and I'm only a couple of chapters in, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Just 2 chapters in, and you fall in love with August, the main character, straight away. It's really good. Look at all the mess there. Those are my sock blockers. That's a Edward Hopper picture there. That's a basket with yarny things in. There's stuff everywhere in this house. Right, I'm going to go and get the girls' dinner ready.